G'day folks, welcome back to Illusions of Glory. I am at the start, let me zoom out a bit, I am at the start of Turn 11 Winter 1917, and I've realised, thanks to the comments, that I've been playing another rule wrong, that the severe weather check, it's not automatically severe weather, you do have to make that check. I was playing that correctly initially and then just forgot about the need for a check. So I've got that back on track. I'll be playing that rule correctly. I've made a few little errors, but hopefully nothing too critical, I don't think. Okay, so we are at the start of turn 11. We have already drawn our hand for the turn. I have my digital rulebook ready to go. I think we can get to the sequence of play with our mandatory offensives. Allied player is a 3 British-French, so maybe some activity in the Balkans, and then, 6+1 is also Balkans, so we're looking at some activity down here on the Salonika front. It's going to be interesting because a lot of mountains here. What else happened? Oh yes, I corrected the capture of Fort Repel event. So this is an end event. When you do the capture of Fort Repel, I'll show you the card because I had it. I was rereading it. Oh no, I don't. I've moved it. In any case, the capture of Fort Repel event, you capture both Fort Repel and the Doiran level 2 trench. And so the central powers, I've just fixed that up in the interim. All right, so that is MOs. We now go straight into the action phase, and we have the Allied player first. Now they have this MO down here. This is probably the most vulnerable point here. Monasty. So we do have Surrail here. Here's the headquarters. Adds +1 to the combat. I'm mindful that it's winter and we're attacking into mountains. I'm also mindful that Salonika is strong, but doesn't have a trench there. So I would like to entrench in Salonika. So let's look at our cards. We've got Italian reinforcements, Brusilov offensive, Stavka. I do need to play that. I absolutely need to play this for the event. So I'm going to play this. So I need to get that out of the way. This is the card that I've been waiting for to fix my rail lines. So all future die rolls have a +1 for the allies now. We get 1 war status. 1 war status, and that's it. Play. Oh, do I need to play it? Am I doing... Yeah, look, let's get it out of the way. It's a mobilization event. Should have been played a long time ago. I want to play that before I do anything else. Done. So 1 allied war status, 1 combined war status. We move closer to this armistice. Okay, that's the allied first turn complete. Let's fix that up. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. The first was an event. That's done. Okay, central powers. While I'm here, I'll adjust their little markers to 1, and they will think about what to do. And again, they've got this Balkans offensive as well, so maybe some Ottoman attacks in the Struma, which is a swamp which isn't so bad during winter. We do have superiority here. 6 on 4. What else? Central powers units occupying a space in the Balkans. It's a +1 on defense. Okay, that's a good defense. I might just go, look at this, we've got so many good cards this turn. Wow. Allied attack. I might just use this for 3 ops. So we're going to go attack here. We don't have a trench here and it's out in the open. It might be good to entrench here. Or let's look at, yeah, okay, we're going to try to recapture Gorizia. So we can attack. Yeah, let's try that. Caporetto is not entrenched, but it is in the mountains. So let's try and do that. Let's try and force the Italians back out of Gorizia, and we'll attack down here. So we're getting our attacks underway. We'll start down here in the Balkans. This will satisfy our MO complete. And we're looking at 6 on 4. No severe weather check required. Hey Mark, welcome. It's a Sunday morning here, doing well. Had my early morning coffee, and I'm launching an attack in the Balkans. The Turkish 2nd and 6th Corps attacking the Serbians, 6 on 4. Any combat cards? No, it's on defense and no Russian combat unit. So no attacker. Defender, they've got no retreat, no Russians, no flank. So no combat card is taking place. It is just a 6 on 4. We're looking from here to here. Attacker, defender. So we're looking at 6, 4, which is 4, and 4, 3, which is 3. Okay, this is not great for the Serbians. They will both flip and then reduce, replace that with, I have to keep zooming in and out. It's a shame it doesn't automatically draw a core. And then we will cancel the retreat in the mountains by flipping that core. And the Ottoman forces just lose a 2. They flip that over and they can ignore the last loss factor there. Alright, that satisfies the MO. Put some pressure on the Serbians down there and we're done. That was just an ops. Oh no, wait, we're not done yet, because we have an attack on the Italian front here. Alright, we are attacking both of these forces towards Gorizia, and they are laying siege to that. So they've got 9, and the Austro-Hungarians have got 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 17, 16 versus 9. And, oh, there we go, 16 versus 9 is a base. It is in the clear, no defensive modifiers here. I don't think we have any offensive combat cards. No. If any allied attack, no. Okay, and no defensive combat cards either. No Russians. We can refuse a flank attack. No, it's not a flank attack. And there's no Russians there either. So looking at 16 on 9 base, no combat cards again, so fairly just standard. 16, 5 is a 7 versus, what was that, 9, 5, 5. So 7 loss factors versus 5 loss factors. Oh, it's a +1 as well, which is 7 anyway. So let's, 1, 2, I have to satisfy the 5, I have to eliminate that. And that reminds me as well, I have to reduce the Austrian troop quality. Yep, by 1 because I've lost an army. It'll be replaced by an Austrian corps. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. I haven't gone for a morning run yet. I thought about it. Play with the dog outside for a bit. That was it. Alright, and now we've got 7 for the Italians. They're going to have to go 1, 2, 3, 4. They have to replace that. And then they'll have to go 5, 6, 7 to satisfy. And then they cannot cancel this retreat, so they'll have to retreat 2 spaces. They're going to go 1, 2. Actually, they can go 1. We can split them up. We can go 1, 2. We can go 1, 2, and we can go 1, 2 like that. So we can sort of split them up a bit. That breaks the siege. We can then advance after combat with healthy units. 5, 6, 7. That looks pretty strong now. I might actually bring another army down there to strengthen Gorizia, make that the strongest. That's now 7, 8, 9. That gives it a good defense. Alright, so we have, force the Italians back out of Gorizia. The front lines are back to where they were. Did I do everything correctly? Everything's been done. Yes. There's no Italian troop quality that I have to track. So nothing to worry about there. And yep, we're done. So back over to the Allied hand, and they do have still their British-French requirement down here, so they might try and resolve that. Might use no retreat, or I can place Brusilov. Yeah, that might be good. Another +1 dice for a modifier. So another one Allied war status. What else would we get? Press the Brusilov headquarters. So card 35. And Allied units stacked with Brusilov are activated as one nationality. So I might try and place him down the south for when the Romanians come in. But where? Maybe here, Kamenets. Okay, so let's find this. Here he is. Place him there with any supplied Russian large combat unit in Russia. Done. Romanians will be coming in soon. We can stack them together. And then we get two activations. And I'm going to activate down here and then here for movement. I'll do the movement first. Pretty straightforward. 1 to 3. That's a success. Okay, great. So we do have a trench in Salonika. And then we're going to attack into the mountains. We do a severe weather check. Okay. If the number rolled is greater than the current action round number, then it shifts one to the left. Currently greater than the current. Okay, so I need basically a 2 or less. Fail. All right, so we're looking at not a great combat now. So we start on 6, we go down to 5 because of the mountains. We now go down to 4 because of the severe weather versus 5. So looking at 4 versus 5, but we do have a +1 because of the headquarters. And let's see how we go. Attacker is 4-2 versus 5-3. Okay, so we do lose a French step, but we also force that flip and force that elimination, which isn't so bad. Force them to kill off that core to satisfy the loss factors. But the critical thing is we've satisfied our MO. Now hold on a sec, did I remember to... I don't think I forgot all future MOs are +1. Yep, I forgot to do that. So there we go. Allies are now at +2 to their mandatory offensive rolls, which means no more Russian MOs, which is good. And that was our second Allied action, which was just ops. So now we can look at the Central Powers. And what do we got? We've got a couple of Austrian armies. Allied player must remove a Serbian large combat unit from the map board. They can just take that from Lemnos. It's sitting there. More German reinforcements. Geez, they've got a really good hand. They really want to go on the offensive, don't they? I'm just looking down here. There is a trench there. What else? I don't have the war status. This is what the Central Powers issue has been. They need to increase their war status. Nothing here helps. But German reinforcements will certainly help. Can't be played before turn 5. We're fine there. I had been putting a lot of pressure on the Russians, but they just keep rebuilding. So I don't know how to keep that pressure up. Well, obviously keep attacking, I guess. Try a different approach. I think at the end of last turn, I was thinking about attacking somewhere else. Volgograd has this waterfront. Where else? I do have German a depth here. Chemizel has a trench, right? And they are reduced. That's a strength of 8 with a trench, but only some reserves there, not a lot. Trying to think of what to do here. I can just keep attacking the Russians, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I might just get some. I've got an army in Belgrade. I can bring them to the 1, 2. Might try and bring them to the front, the Italian front. That is. No, we've got. Romania must be coming to the war soon. So I've got to keep some forces there. I think some replacements might be in hand. So look, we'll play this card for replacements for now, and we'll wait and see what happens. So we have 2 Allied, we have 4 German +1, and we have the 3 Austrian, which will be really handy. So that is being played for replacements. All right, which was just a Central Powers replacements. Allies don't want to be caught out, so they will play their Brusilov card for replacements as well. I know it's a great card to play, but we need those replacements. And oh, sorry, what does that give us? That gives us Brusilov 2, 2, and 3. Here we go. Okay. Brings us back to the Central Powers. Tough to break through, very tough to break through here. Lomz is protected from the south. Warsaw, Vongrad, I could outflank it, that's right, but not outflank it, combine my forces here. And it's a level 2 trench with a level 2 fort with a trench. So the Austrians seem to be facing the more vulnerable Russians. Tarnopol has a trench. Chemizel has a trench. Yep, it's got a trench everywhere along this Russian front. Is pretty well defended. What have we got? -1 if they attack. Geez, not much. Maybe just some German reinforcements. Let's build up this turn. Let's play the Army of the Bug. It is card number 21. So we dig into our force pool. We find 21. These units, look at this. This is strong. And I can bring them in. And any Central Powers controlled supply source in Austria-Hungary, which is like Krakow here. So I can bring them into Krakow and the headquarters. This is heavy artillery. So this is going to be used twice, basically. You use it once, you flip it. Use it a second time, it gets removed. It's a +2 modifier. So this is a great reinforcement card. It will free up... How far can they move? They can move a total of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So they can take the space of the Austrians here in Turkey. That'd be fantastic. Played as any Central Powers controlled force. Yep, that's done. That was a good choice. I'm happy with that decision. So now I've got, some strong German forces down here. They're moving into Austria to free up these Austrian forces, and the Austrians might move further south, getting ready for Romania to enter the war. All right, so what are the Allied players going to do? I think some Italian reinforcements, Russian reinforcements. I think the Russian reinforcements are needed because of what's happening. So, card 27. We are looking at Russian reinforcements. Force pool. Oh, look at this. We get so many. So the Germans just like, yes, we have all our strong armies coming on. And the Russians like, I see you and raise you some much larger armies. And look at this, there's cavalry and there's more cavalry. But do I have to remove all Russian cavalry units? Yes, that will be happening. I'm going to remove all Russian small cavalry units. Yep, plays an event. Put them there for now. Put them there for now. And then remove all these. They get placed into the reserve box. Alright, so I'll stack them together for now. And I can actually build some of these units. I think some of these are, so Warsaw, unfortunately, it's full. How many are there? There's 3 there. Okay, so they go to the reserve box. Huge pile of Russian small combat unit cavalry. There's another one. There's another one. So the Russians did well. They're not creating any gaps in their lines. So all their small combat units, cavalry, small combat units are being removed. Loms are now looking a little bit more vulnerable, but no, it's behind a waterway there, which will protect them. Novgorod, probably the Lublin here. Lublin's the most vulnerable, definitely. No trench, and there might be somewhere there. Germans might be able to move into there, but there's so many. There's a depth of Russian forces. Okay, so that's done. We've got the cavalry. I don't think I want the cavalry up there. I think I want them Minsk. Gonna throw them all in Minsk there. Give them that versatility. 1, 2, 3, 4. They can pretty much be anywhere along the front there, which is good. All right, so that was a Russian reinforcement event. And back to the Central Powers. And still not sure what to do. 3, 3, 4, and 4 in terms of ops. 3, 3, 4, and 4. Look, I know what to do. I want to free up the Austrians. I want to attack. So I am going to I basically want to swap these armies around. I need to check if I can overstack during movement. So yeah, basically want to move one to the other and then swap them around. Unit stacking, blah blah blah. Stacking limits applied all times except during movement. You can exceed stacking limits, but they must be met by the end of the action round. So I can move this stack to here, overstack, and then move this stack to here. So I'm pushing the Germans sort of into this position where they can attack Lublin. And is that the best thing to do? Yeah, I think so. So basically I'm going to activate if any attack includes Russians. I don't think the Russians will be attacking. But then I don't think I'm going to be defending in the Balkans either anymore. I could have played that earlier, couldn't I? Okay, so 3 ops. I'm going to move here. Move here and move here. Okay, so basically what I'm doing is just swapping these around. These are moving here, these are moving up to here. Okay, just swapping them around. That's it. And then the Germans here are moving, that's right, closer to Warsaw. Would love to continue that attack on Warsaw. That's going to be tough. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Sigh. Because I don't know how to do it. Hey Todd, welcome. the Central Powers are banging their head against the Eastern Front. They're looking for opportunities to break through. I've also got this force in Krakow, which isn't doing anything. In fact, you know what? Let me rethink that. Instead of moving them to there, they're going to go 1, 2, 3. I'm going to move this force 1, 2. All right, put them in position there. Actually, yeah, that's what I'll do for now. 1, 2, 3. So I didn't read. I'm giving up on Warsaw for now. I'm just going to try and outflank it. And the Russians know what's going on. So, Central Powers 4 was just ops. Now the Allies see the threat on Lublin, see that it is not entrenched and have to do something. So they'll play 3 ops, and they'll certainly activate, bring in some more forces. 1, activate that for movement. 2, and what else? I already have a trench there. Everything here is entrenched. So I'm just looking, making sure I'm safe. Mountains can cancel the retreat, which is fine. Down the south here, we're looking good. Maybe we'll move this. No, I want to rebuild the Serbians and move them together as a stack. So nothing further down here. We're just looking at Russians down here. Here we go. Let's move this force here. So we'll go 1, 2, 3. Get them close to Romania. And then we are going to try and entrench here. 1 to 3. That's a success. So Lublin is now defended. And we'll move the Grenadiers down. And it's very well defended. And the Germans just find themselves frustrated. +2 modifier. I don't have a strong force there. Yeah. What do we do? What do we do? I want to kind of shift all these Germans around to here. It's frustrating that Przemysl fell so early. 9, 10, 11, 12 on a healthy 8. With a shift, but with a +2 for my artillery. All right, Central Powers have to think about how they're going to break this Russian line. Geez. Lublin's still probably the most vulnerable. Defensive 10. So these Austrians here are free to move. I've got some reserves here. One, 2, 3. I can move this force around to here. If I just focus on Przemysl and move the... That's what I'm going to do. All right, so I've got a plan. What is the plan? If their attack... Okay, I don't see the Allies attacking me at the moment. So I'm going to play 4 ops. I'm going to continue to try and push the Germans south and get the Austrians to take their place. All right, so Austrians are moving up. We're going 1, 2, 3. This big stack here is moving into Tarnow. And this guy's going 1, 2, 3 into Turka. All right, it looks a bit weird, but it is legal. I'm just making it convenient. Okay, so now I've got the Germans placed to attack Przemysl. That's right. I'm going to try to retake Przemysl. I'm going to build a stack in Stanislaus. That's easy to maneuver. Stack of 3. In fact, I can move 1 more over to really hold Czernowitz. And I'm setting up for an attack on Przemysl. Huge attack. This is where the attritional warfare is going to recommence. The fort is destroyed. They don't get the +3. It's a level 1 trench. Russians should be a little bit concerned here. They've got a trench, which can cancel their retreat, but again, we're looking at attrition here, not just an immediate breakthrough. And that was a Central Powers. Oops. What did I do? I'm losing track of everything. I forgot what the Allies did. They just moved, didn't they? Ops and then ops. All right, back to the Allies. And this is really the focus of our attention is. So they might look to just... I don't want to waste the op here. We're up to our last card, so I kind of just want to do one op and try and entrench in Rara, or I'll just bring the Italian reinforcements on and hope for the best. Right, so I'll do that. These Italian reinforcements, 42 force pull, a huge pile of Italian reinforcements on the Italian front. This is the card that confused me because it says bring them in Italian supply sources on the Italian front. There's only one location, which is Verona. You can see there's only one Italian supply source on the map board, but there are 5 units. So what does that mean? Now we house ruled it that southern Italy can count. Until summer 1917. I can't even bring them on. Okay, let's undo that. Okay, till summer. Can't bring them in until summer 1917. I wish it would just say turn X, it'd be easier. So in that case, I might just play this as the ops, because I can't play it for the event anytime soon. We're going to move this and try and entrench, which is successful. So I've got a backup trench. That's how deep these Russian defenses go. And then I'm going to move Kiev 1, 2, 3 to Dubno. And we will try and entrench here as well. We'll just build a second line of fallback points, basically. Tarnople is entrenched. Yep, we're safe there. All right, happy with that. Ops done. Central Powers last turn, they're going to play 4 ops. And now we're going on the offensive. So we're going to attack. We're going to attack. We're going to attack and attack. Right, we're trying to bleed the Russians out. All right, so we're going that way. We're going that way. And then we got this flank attack going on over here towards Shemizel. All right, I want to do the flank first because this is the most important one. I've got 16 easily, so I'm looking at 16 down to 15. Do I have cavalry? I don't have any. I do have cavalry, and it's a clear space, so +1. The trenches don't negate that. +1 versus, and the Russians don't have any cavalry. They've got 8. Goes up to 9. So I do have quite a superiority here. And I do have a combat card, -1. I don't really need to use that. An allied defense. I don't really care so much about, I feel pretty confident that they're 9. Yeah, I'll just roll the dice. This is attrition. I'm not looking to break through necessarily. So 15 +1 versus 9. 15, 5 versus 9, 3. So I win the combat anyway. 5 to 3. So I have to go 1, 2. I'm going to have to move one of these. 3, 4. Replace it. 5. And then cancel the retreat. And that causes a Russian troop quality reduction. And then a 3 will just flip the reserve. Done. That's all the Germans have to do. But you can see there, they've really reduced the Russians. It's going to force the Russians to respond, which they can do, but how long can they sustain that when they've only got 3 more corps left? This is what the Germans are looking at. This is the most important thing for this German offensive. The fact that there's only 3 Russian small combat units here. Looking up here now, again, I'm not expecting this combat to have a huge success. I didn't even add the artillery there, so I've got that as a backup. We've got 9 on 6. This comes down to 6 to 8, and the 6 goes up to 9. No cavalry, no modifiers, basically. So 6 versus 9. 6 is a 5 versus 9. 1 is a 3. 3, not a 2. So, again, the Russians, they can't just flip both armies. They have to remove 1, replace it with a corps. This is perfect outcomes for the Germans. Exactly what they want. 5, they have to remove that to satisfy the loss. Another reduction in Russian troop quality, and the Germans just flip an army, which will be rebuilt pretty conveniently. 5 to 3, they win the combat. They force the cancellation of the call for a retreat. Perfect outcome. All right, up here we've got 7 on 6. So again, 7 goes down to a 5, and the 6 goes up to a 9. And CRTs, we are looking at 5-2, which is 3, and 9-2, which is 4. Okay. So this case, the Germans suffer 4. They have to. Oh no, they can't actually. They can flip an army and ignore the others. The Soviets, the Russians, just flip an army and they're done. But you can see the losses the Russians have suffered there. Germans flipped a couple of armies, which will easily flip back. Alright, that was their last turn. Ops. All combat has been resolved. We now move to the attrition, nothing, siege, nothing, war status, no changes, no national collapse, no rebellions, replacements. Allies first, they've got 3 Russians. They want to flip that on the front. They want to flip that on the front, that's 2, and then they are going to rebuild that for 3. Now we can also convert an Allied to another Russian, and we'll try and rebuild another corps. Where are the rest of my Russian small combat units? There aren't a lot. They're all small combat units. Yeah, there just aren't a lot of Russian small combat units, I guess. There aren't many out there. There's one there in leader. Oops, didn't mean to move that. Okay, so that's the Russians done. We also then have one more Allied, and I'll bring back a Serbian army. Actually, yeah, I will do that because they are, I think, more urgently needed. I'm sure the French can hold there. That's 1. And then 2 Italian. On the Italian front, we'll go 1, 1.5, and actually no, instead of going 1.5, we'll go 2. And we're done. Now, Central Powers. Oops, what did I move? I think they had 2, right? So Central Powers, Allied, CP Allied 2. And we do have a Turkish unit there, 1. And I don't think there's another one to satisfy, so we ignore that. And then we have 3 Austrian. Did we lose anything? Yes, we had some armies to rebuild. Everyone's looking pretty healthy on the Italian front. We do want to replace those mountains. That's 2.5. 2.5. I'll just go 2 left, and then I'll rebuild an army in Trieste, and that'll improve Austrian troop quality by 1. Happy with that. And then we have the 5 German, and we can just go 1, 2. Did I take a loss over here? Yes, here it is. 3, and then no armies to rebuild. 3. Really got to go more aggressive as the Germans. Like, this is it. We've built 3, and we have no more forces to rebuild. So really need to be much more aggressive with the Germans in the east, because they're wasting 2 replacements. Okay, replacements are done. Strategy card draw. I can discard that if I want. I think I will. There we go. That's I'm out of cards, so I need to reshuffle the deck. Only 11 cards. That's the war status that I need, because I'm drawing all these low quality cards, and then the allies, they will discard that as well, because they get a lot of total war cards, hopefully. Here we go. That's a much better hand, and there's Romania. Okay, now, what else happens? Strategy card draw, reshuffle, etc. We end the turn, we advance into spring 1917, and we roll for MOs. Allies with a +2 is a 3 British French in the Balkans, and a 6 is Austro-Hungarian on the Italian front. Again, a reminder, the Central Powers are ahead by 1 victory point here. And that's before these 3, that's 3 victory points there that the Germans are really trying to grab. All right, let's reset these. So they're ready to go. And I'm thinking, as the allies, do I want to bring the Romanians in? I can't, to be honest, because I need to bring some more forces up to the front. Insterburg, Przemysl down here. I need to move. As much as I'd like to play that card to start things off, I need to move. Oh wow, look at this. There's so many good cards here. Central Powers unit. If they attack a space occupied by a cavalry unit, the defending unit can avoid damage by retreating. Okay, I don't really want to do that because I'm really holding firm. No attacks are allowed for the rest of the turn. No combined attacks. Okay, no combined attacks. -1 VP? Need that? No, I need to play... can't be played until November coup. Place British reinforcements, brilliant. An allied attack that includes a Serbian large combat unit. I don't need this. So play for ops. I may need it, actually. Can't play this. So let's play this for ops. And let's get my Russian reinforcements. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. We'll just move this up. And then we'll move, where was the other space? Up here. Let's get my cavalry moving. That's 1, 2. I've got an offensive requirement in the Balkans. So this time I might get this force to attack. And then we'll activate the Serbians. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. A lot of movement. They're just going to move to the landing space. They are going to attack, actually. It's not a movement, it's attack. I will do it in a moment. They are going to move into Przemysl to bring that up to a strength of 9. And these guys are going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3 to Brest-Litovsk. And again, Russians are in a solid position. Actually, 1, 2, 3. We'll move them to Lomza just in case the Germans get any crazy ideas. So again, Russians are back up to full strength. Novgorod is looking a bit weak, but they can hold. It's got +2. That fort will still hold. So yep. So still, it's ironic, but it's probably the weakest point in the Russian line, Przemysl, because that fort doesn't exist. It's just a level 1 trench. And then the attack down here. Do I have any combat cards to add? An allied attack, no Serbian units, No. Any combat cards on defense? Central Powers defense that includes a German large combat unit? Yes. A +2 dice roll modifier. May as well play this for the +2. +2. So we're looking at 9. Oh, this is a double trench. 9 versus 5 +2. Now this is the Doiran trench. Trench 2, offensive fly 2 to the left, so the 9 goes down to 5, and my 5 goes up to 6. Now, it's also in the mountains, so that brings that down to 4. So this could be a painful attack, but it's satisfying the MO. That's the point here. Yeah, let's roll. 4, 3 is a 3, and the 6 + 2 is a 5. So the defenders win that combat. 3 is just flipping that, and then 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's okay because it satisfies our allied MO. Hey, last burning. Look, it's I hear you. I really enjoy it because I just kind of flip my mindset. Like, I'm currently in allied attack mindset. The allies have just attacked here. I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to achieve their MO. So now I flip my mindset to the Central Powers. So I'm thinking, okay, what are the Central Powers doing? And I know the Central Powers are trying to break through the Russians. This is their strategy. There's not much they can achieve down here. Well, actually, they can attack. I might actually attack the Serbians, but there's not a lot to gain here. It's a bit of a stalemate, to be frank. Yeah, not a lot of... just the terrain here makes it very tough to get any kind of rolling offensive going. Same in the Italian front. But I know that a lot of this clear terrain here makes it vulnerable. And so this is what the Central Powers are trying to do. They do have to attack on the Italian front somewhere. And I think Udine is probably the best place to get that done, although Palma Nova is also probably more vulnerable. And I get a +1. I might get that out of the way first. I need to entrench in Gorizia. So what I'm going to do is look at the Central Powers' hand. Pretty poor hand of cards. I'm going to play this for 3 ops. I'm actually going to try to entrench Gorizia, and I'm going to continue this attack on Chemizel. Alright, I'm not going to put those markers. I'm just going to try to entrench. 1 to 3, fail, and then a combined attack here. I know it's 16 on 9. With a level 1 trench goes down to 15. I've got a +1. Do I have any combat cards? German attack gets a +1. I don't. Yeah, let's play this for the +1. Actually, no. Let's save it for later. What about the Central Powers? Are they playing anything? The Allies. An allied attack that includes Serbians? No. So they don't have anything. So 15 +1 versus 9 with a trench goes up to 12 versus 12. So this is, look, the Germans have their strategy. When I play as the Germans, I just follow that strategy, and that's to grind down these Russian units, try and get their small combat units exhausted, basically. So 15 on 9, bring up the CRT. Attacker roll is a 2, 3, which is a 5. Should play the +1. Versus their 12, 2 is a 4. So the Germans win the combat again. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's got to be replaced. This is the only way to satisfy the losses. 5. And I've got to eliminate that to cancel the retreat. The Germans just have to take 4. They will flip their reserve army. And that's all they have to do. They ignore the other one. So again, they've killed off a Russian army, large combat unit, replaced, killed off a small combat unit, and all they've lost is 1 step of a reserve unit. Yeah, look, it's hard. Mark's pointing out that playing multiplayer can cause some anxiety. It's even harder when I'm recording because It's easy when I'm not recording because I can take my time. When I'm doing like a live stream, I'm moving faster than I would normally move because I don't like to keep things slow. Don't like that radio silence. So I do things a lot faster than when I'm playing sort of off camera. More likely to make mistakes. And look, when it's just a 2-player game, it's easier. It's much harder to play a 3 or 4-player solo, which I have done with like Here I Stand. So yes, that's it. That's the we did the Allied first turn. That was the Central Powers first turn. Back to the Allies. They've got another. I would like to bring Romania in. I really would like to bring Romania in, put some pressure on this vicinity, but I don't want to leave the... I guess the question is, can I leave Chemizel for 1 turn? Can it hold? I think it can hold for just 1 turn, and then I can bring some forces in, whilst I bring in Romania. Is that what I want to do? Is Romania going to just create more problems for me? Maybe it will at the moment. Maybe right now, what the Allies want to do is just continue to reinforce and strengthen. Bring some more British forces on. Replacements. I'm worried. Where are my Romanians? They're not listed there. They're in the... where are they? They're off somewhere to the force pool. Here they are. So here's the Romanians. What do we get? We get 4 armies. Yes, they're weak, but there's not a lot of Bulgarians. Oh, we do have the Turks up on the front as well. And okay, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, they'll immediately be outnumbered by some pretty strong Bulgarians, Austrians, etc. Big Austrian stack in Belgrade, ready to move. Maybe not. Maybe I just get Royal Navy blockade out of the way. I'm looking at Chemizel here. I think it can hold. Yeah, it'll definitely hold. Okay, so I'm going to play Royal Naval blockade. Royal Navy blockade. -1 VP. Alright, that puts the Allies now back in the lead. Central Powers units cannot strategically relocate. German RPs cannot be converted into Turkish. They haven't been using that anyway, so that's fine. I don't know what's going on with this counter, but I can't even delete it. We'll just move that out of the way. No. Okay. Can't even flip that counter. How am I going to mark this? Just with, I guess, that's not happening anymore. Unless there is an uninterrupted supply from Berlin to Constantinople. Oh, there is. All right, that's been played as an event. Yeah, that kind of tells you how safe the Russians are feeling. Yes, Chemizel might get smashed, and that's exactly what the Germans are thinking. But you know what? We want to play U-boats in the Mediterranean for our war status, which gives us to total war at last. So, 1 war status, 1 VP, brings us back up to a tie. So we're tied. The Allied player can't be played if can't be played. Oh my goodness. Can't play that war status. So how am I going to get to war status? Can't be played if convoy has been played. I've had this before, haven't I? Alright, I guess we just have to keep attacking the Russians. Let's play this for ops then. And let's attack. I've got 9 on. They got a +1 modifier for their cavalry. They don't up here. So I'm going to attack here. And I'm going to attack here. And here. 1, 2, 3. Would like to bring Maxon back around. Oops, did not mean to do that. To the south. Alright, let's do an attack up here. We're looking at 7 on 6 with a trench. Yep, so the 7 goes down to 5 and the 6 goes up to a 9. So not a great combat. Again, just trying to... Can I add anything? I could add a +1. But I don't really want to. So we're looking at, can the Central Powers allies play anything? No and no. Alright, so attack 5, 1 is terrible, and 9, 2 is not much better, 4. Alright, so we flip that, and they flip that, and that's it. 2 loss factors, 4 loss factors, we do the 3, and that's all, nothing else. That's it. Down here, the most important one. We have got our 16, we've got 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I'm not involving that flipped unit, but I am involving my cavalry for a +1. So looking at 15 +1 after the column shift. I'm still not going to bring in my... Oh, actually, will I bring in the +1 for my combat card? Is now the time? It might be. Try and really... No, not going to worry. I've got the +1. Versus their 6 goes up to 9. Alright. CRT, 15 +1. Should have brought the +1 in. Again, 5 versus 9, 2, 4. So again, the Germans win combat. But the Russians can just... Actually, you know what? They're... yeah, they can just flip both those armies. Oh, no, they can't, actually. Sorry. They have to eliminate. Replace 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then eliminate that to cancel the retreat. Lose another troop quality, so they're heading down, and the Germans just reduce that, and they're done. That was 4, so they just ignore the rest. The advantage here is it provides space for the Russians just to bring their extra reinforcements along, which is what they're going to do. So that was just Central Powers Ops. The Allies now are just going to play some Ops. This one play for 4 Ops, and they're going to go... I wouldn't mind just moving one of these forces around. They're going to move this... Where is it? Oh, I can't actually... Yeah, this stack here. That's 2. I've met my MO, so I've got a bit of freedom. I'm going to build a trench here and build a trench here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So Serbians succeed. French fail. I'm just going to move one army, 1, 2, 3, just so that's a bit strong, because that's a bit of a vulnerable area. And then 1, 2, 3, and then get some cavalry in there. And move this up to there, so it's a stack that I can move as one. Done. And looking strong. And that was an ops card. And again, the Germans are like, ugh, what do we need to do to break this? Probably play the +1 card would help. But look, only two Russian small combat units. And you know what the Germans are going to do? They're going to hit the pressure on. With I need to we'll play that for 4 ops. We will continue to attack down here. One, two. Now we'll try and attack here. 1, 2, 3, and then the Austrians are required to attack as well. They'll attack. I think we'll head this way. It's just slightly. Actually, it doesn't matter really, does it? Yeah, it's in the clear, so they'll get +1. All right, so we'll do the Austrians first. Down here, they got 8. There's a trench and a road, so 8 goes down to 5, goes down to 4, +1 for their cavalry, versus the Italian 6 goes up to 9. No German large combat units. This might be the Balkans, but I want to keep that card. And nothing here. So these are the shifts. We roll 4 + 1 is 4, 3, which is 3, versus 9, 4, 5. Ouch. Okay, so attacker first. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. Have to replace that. Well, the Austrians are looking pretty low as well with small combat units. 5 versus 4. They can just go 1, 2, 3, 4 without losing. Oh, it was only 3, sorry. Only 3. Just 1. But that satisfies that Austro-Hungarian requirement for a mandatory offensive on the Italian front. And they still hold Galizia pretty strongly. Okay, now we'll do an attack up here. We've got 9 goes down to 6 to 8 versus 4, 5, 6, 7 goes up to 9 +1. Okay, 6, 3 is a 4, and 9, 6 is a 7. That'll hurt the Germans. All right, so the Russian 4 is pretty easy. Let's flip those. The 7, 1, 2, 3. In fact, 4, 5. Yeah. How am I going to do this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't think I can satisfy the full thing, so I've got 6 is the most I can do. You can see I can't satisfy the 7th, so I'll do that. Just flip those over. And then, again, the important attack down here. And now I think I'll play my +1. And this is probably where I don't actually need it. I'll probably roll really good. So +1 dice for a modifier. This time I've got 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I'm not involving them and not involving them and not involving the heavy artillery. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 goes down to 15 +1 versus 8 goes up to 9 +1. And it's another +1, so it's +2. And the die rolls are 7 loss factors versus a 9, 7 versus 7. Okay, so the Russians won't have to cancel the retreat, but some heavy losses on both sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 can't resolve the last one. And 7, 1, 2. They're going to have to remove this. You know what they're going to do? Remove the cavalry. So 1, 2, 3, 4, because they can do this. 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so we don't lose any more of these regular infantry, small combat units. Okay, look, the Germans have really taken a beating, but again, they are bleeding the Russian small combat units. And that was a German ops. Okay. Have I lost track of something? Have I think I have. I lost a turn. Alright. Did I play an Allied combat cards at some stage? I must have. Did I? Yeah, maybe losing track of things. Sorry if I've made a mistake there. Can't reinforce it, but that'll hold. I'm pretty confident that'll hold, and I'll be able to cancel an attack. I desperately need replacements. What am I doing? It's the Allied player's turn. Why do the Germans have more cards? Did I do a double German turn? What have I done? What did I do? I've made a mistake somewhere. Did I do the Central Powers back to back? Let me do a quick check, see what I've done. I have a feeling like I did Central Powers twice. Why did I do that? I played... Sent the Russian forces back. Build up Chemizel. Yeah, did a heap of Allied attacks. Played a combat card. I don't know what I've done. Not to worry. I will try and continue. This might tell me what I do. Look, not to worry. We'll just continue with... It's the Allied turn. I think it's their 5th turn, but then why do they have so many cards? And why are they missing a card? I don't think I played 2 combat cards. In any case, we're going to play replacements. 3, 3, and 4. 3, 3, and 4. Wrong one. That one. And then the Central Powers are going to do the same with this. What is that? That is 1, 2, and 3. And the Germans get a bonus one. And I think it's the last turn, but that doesn't explain why the Central Powers, why the Allies have 3 cards left. I must have made a mistake somewhere. And I'll play this for the event. On an Allied... Okay, so this is... Can't be played until Italy's been played. That's okay, that's been played. Card number 51, which is here. Place the British infantry and the French on an Italian supply source. Place the British 12th and 17th on Lemnos. Okay, sorry, my apologies. Hold on. Yeah, that's the 14th Corps and the French 12th. So they go into there. And then place the 12th and the 16th. Where are they? The French Army of the Orient one, if they have not already entered the game. Alright, well there's the 6th. There, no, hold on. Where are they? Where are they? Place the British 12th. That's the British 12th. So they've already entered the game. So why is that? And the 16th. Yes, they're down there. And the French Army of the Orient, which is down there as well. Okay. So it just shows the French reinforcements, and that's removed. So that's an Allied event. And the Central Powers will play this for ops. And what am I going to do? I could do more German attacks. What have I got going on? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 replacements coming in. You know what? Rather than ops, I might play that for replacements. 1 Austro-Hungarian, 2 German. Play for replacements. All right, and we're done. And now we get to the actual replacements. We have got 3 Italian, 1... No Italian army losses. That's it. So we'll rebuild that up and rebuild that up, and we're done. Oh, they can't be rebuilt. Or did I put them in the wrong box? I think I may have put them in the wrong box. Oh no, they can't be rebuilt. For some reason. Okay, that's the allies. I'm really getting confused. I'm going to have to stop at the end of this turn. 3 Italian. No. Okay. Oh, wow. Yes. Getting confused. 3 allied. 1, 2, 3. Russian. 4. Right. Where do they want to rebuild? Definitely down here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Okay. Yep. I know that's a concern because I've only got 2 core. Crikey, there's a lot of dead Russians. 1 Central Powers ally. I don't think they have... Oh, yeah. Can that count? I think that's half Bulgarian. It can count as either. That's 1. We've got 3 Austrian. We'll go 3 Austrian. We'll rebuild an army. 1, 2. Down here. That improves their troop quality. And 1, 2... and a half, 3, and how many German? 6 German. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can just see how easy it is for the Germans to replace their losses. Okay, and that's it. So, wow. Need another coffee. That is attrition, siege, replacements, strategy card, draw, discard cards, and redraw. I don't know how the Germans. I don't know. Have I missed? I must have missed a war status somewhere, which has been a really critical error because I can't get to total war. And they're going to keep those cards and redraw. Yeah, I don't know what happened with the allies. I think I only did 5 that turn, making some silly mistakes. So, end of the turn, moving into turn 13, but I'll stop here and try and figure out what I did wrong. All right, folks, thanks for